Captain Alara Voss tightened the straps of her suit as she stepped out of the shuttle. The air on planet Zerith 9 was thin but breathable, tinged with a strange metallic smell. The sky shimmered with two suns, casting golden and pale blue light over jagged crystal formations. She had seen strange worlds before, but this one felt different but alive. Her mission was simple: survey the source of a strange energy signal that had appeared on humanity's long-range scanners. The readings were unlike anything scientists had cataloged. They pulsed rhythmically, almost as if the planet itself had a heartbeat. Alara had a feeling that this mission would change everything. She activated her scanner, the small device beeping softly in response to the planet's energy. Nothing aggressive detected yet, she muttered into her comm. Her voice felt tiny against the vast landscape. As she climbed over a ridge, her eyes widened. Before her stretched a massive structure made of smooth, glowing material. It wasn't stone or metal. It shimmered like liquid glass, twisting upward in tall spires that seemed to bend light around them. The structure radiated warmth and power, and every instinct in her body told her that this was no ordinary alien city. Alara approached cautiously, the ground soft beneath her boots. As she stepped closer, the shimmering walls seemed to ripple, as if the building itself was breathing. She paused. Her pulse quickened. From somewhere deep within the tallest spire, a figure emerged. It was enormous. The alien queen. She moved with elegance and grace, her presence commanding the air itself. Her skin glowed softly in shifting colors, reflecting the sunlight in dazzling patterns. Her eyes were enormous, filled with intelligence and curiosity, and for a moment, Alara felt her own pulse slow, mesmerized by the being before her. The queen stopped and tilted her head slightly. Then, to Alara's shock, she did something unexpected. She blushed. A soft, radiant glow spread across her face, and she leaned forward slightly, whispering in a voice that seemed to echo in the mind rather than the ears, "You, human, you are invited." Alara froze. She had trained for first contact situations, but this was nothing like she had imagined. An invitation? From the most powerful being she had ever seen? Her mind raced with questions. Why her? Why now? And most importantly, was this a trap? Taking a deep breath, she replied carefully, I accept your invitation." The queen's glow seemed to brighten in response. She turned gracefully, her long limbs moving in perfect harmony with the shimmering air around her. Alara followed, trying to keep up, her boots sinking slightly into the soft ground as they walked. Alara noticed the surroundings. Giant plants with translucent leaves bent slightly toward her as if they could sense her presence. Strange, delicate creatures floated near the spires, their forms barely visible in the radiant light. Every step she took felt like entering a dream she couldn't wake from. Finally, they reached the entrance of the queen's inner sanctum. The doorway shimmered like liquid, folding and twisting to allow passage. Alara stepped through, and the world changed. Inside, the space was immense, filled with structures that seemed alive, pulsing with gentle light. The floor beneath her felt soft, almost like walking on clouds, but firm around her. Aliens of various shapes and sizes moved gracefully, their expressions a mixture of curiosity and admiration. They wore clothing that seemed to grow naturally from their bodies, glowing faintly. Alara realized that she was not just a guest here, she was the center of attention. Every eye was on her, and yet there was no hostility, only curiosity. The queen stopped in the center of the grand hall. "You are unlike any I have seen," she said softly. "Your kind, your species. You have survived, you have created, you have endured. I have watched you for centuries." Alara's heart skipped a beat. "Watched for centuries? You've been watching humans?" she asked, her voice barely a whisper. The queen nodded, her glowing eyes meeting Alara's. "Yes. From the moment your species reached the stars, I observed. I have seen your courage, your ingenuity, your ability to adapt. That is why I invited you here, human, to see if your people are ready for something greater." Alara struggled to comprehend. Humanity had always looked outward, toward the stars, but no one had ever imagined being recognized by such an advanced species. She felt a mix of pride and fear. What did the queen mean by something greater? Before she could ask, the queen motioned, and the hall shifted. Walls that had seemed solid melted into light, revealing rooms filled with incredible technology. Floating orbs displayed star maps, holographic simulations, and energy constructs beyond human understanding. Machines seemed alive, responding instantly to the queen's subtle gestures. "This is only a glimpse," the queen said. "My world is a place of learning, of growth, and of challenge. Only those who prove themselves can understand it fully." Alara's mind raced. She was a human, yes, but she had never faced anything like this. Yet, she felt a strange calm. Some part of her knew that she belonged here, at least for now. Humanity had always reached for the impossible, and perhaps this invitation, was the next impossible step. "Why me?" she asked, finally. "Why single me out?" The queen's glow dimmed slightly, almost as if she were embarrassed. "It is not only you, but you represent something unique. A balance of courage and caution, of curiosity and caution. A human can show what your people are capable of. You will be the first to see the heart of my world." Alara nodded, trying to steady her breathing. She had faced danger before, but this was different. This was not about survival. This was about discovery, understanding, and, perhaps, destiny. "Follow me," the queen said, turning toward a staircase that seemed to float in midair. It spiraled upward, leading to a higher chamber filled with light. "There are things you must learn, human. Things that may change not only your life, but the life of your species." Alara took a step forward. She was nervous, yes, but also thrilled. She had always believed that humanity could rise to meet any challenge, and now the challenge was unlike anything she had imagined. As they ascended, she caught one last glimpse of the crystal spires outside, glowing under the twin suns. A thought crossed her mind. If humanity could survive this encounter, perhaps they could survive anything. And for the first time, Alara felt a spark of hope that stretched beyond fear. The queen turned to her, her eyes glowing warmly. "Welcome, human. Your journey has only just begun." Alara smiled, her heart pounding. "I'm ready." And with that, she stepped into the unknown, unaware that the choices she would make in the coming hours would define humanity's place among the stars. Alara's boots barely made a sound as she followed the alien queen up the spiraling staircase. The air inside the chamber was warm and light-filled, and strange colors danced along the walls, shifting and flowing like liquid rainbows. The entire place seemed alive, as if it were breathing with a rhythm she could almost feel in her chest. "This is amazing," Alara whispered, unable to hide her awe. The queen glanced at her, her glowing eyes softening. "Yes, but appearances are only a part of the truth, human. Here, we live in balance. Knowledge, understanding, and courage guide us more than power ever could." Alara nodded. She had trained her entire life for exploration, but nothing in her training had prepared her for this. Humans had faced other species in the past, but she had never imagined meeting one so advanced, so aware. The thought made her pulse quicken. She realized that every decision she made from this point on could carry consequences far beyond her understanding. The staircase opened into a vast chamber. From the center, a sphere of light hovered several meters above the ground. Inside, constellations, galaxies, and star systems rotated gracefully. Alara's eyes widened. It was a map, but not like any she had seen. This map displayed energy flows, life signals, and what appeared to be pathways between planets, some even beyond known human space. "This," the queen said, gesturing toward the sphere, "is the web of life in our galaxy. It is connected. Every species, every planet, every being plays a role. And soon, your species may play a part too." Alara stepped closer, her fingers tracing the holographic light without touching it. "But why me? Why humans? Surely there are stronger, more advanced species?" The queen's glow shifted, a subtle blush returning to her radiant face. "Strength is not only power. Humans survive against odds that would break others. You create, you adapt, you learn from failure. That is rare, that is why I invited you." Alara swallowed. She had always believed humans were resilient, but hearing it from someone who had observed the galaxy for centuries was overwhelming. "So, what happens now?" she asked. The queen tilted her head thoughtfully. "You will learn. You will witness. And you will decide if your species is ready for the challenge of joining the Council of Advanced Civilizations. But first, you must see our world." With a wave of her hand, the chamber changed. Walls melted into light, revealing a sprawling city unlike anything Alara had ever imagined. Towering structures floated above the ground, connected by bridges of shimmering energy. Hovering vehicles moved silently between spires, carrying beings of many shapes and sizes. Gardens of glowing plants stretched across platforms, and streams of liquid light flowed beneath them. Alara took a careful step forward. Her mouth went dry. "It's beautiful," she said. "It is," the queen replied softly. "But beauty alone is not enough. You will need to understand balance, cooperation, and wisdom to thrive here." As they walked through the city, Alara noticed that the aliens around her paused to watch. They did not approach aggressively, but their eyes, so many eyes, in so many forms, followed her with curiosity and respect. She realized she was not just a visitor. She was an ambassador of her species. Every gesture, every word, would be seen and remembered. The queen led her to a central courtyard, where a large group of aliens had gathered. They varied in shape and size, some tall and slender, others small and compact. Many with colors and forms that seemed impossible to describe. Yet all of them radiated intelligence and calm. "These are the scholars, the leaders, and the guardians of our world," the queen said. "They will teach you what you need to know, but you must also teach them what you know, human." Sharing knowledge is the first step toward trust. Alara nodded, feeling both honored and nervous. She had trained as an explorer, not a diplomat, yet she knew that humans had always relied on adaptability, courage, and empathy to survive. Perhaps these traits would guide her now. A scholar stepped forward, a being with translucent wings and eyes that glowed like molten gold. "Welcome, human," it said in a voice that resonated in Alara's mind. "We have observed your species. Few have shown the courage and ingenuity that you do. We are eager to learn from you." Alara bowed slightly. "Thank you. I hope I can be of help. Humanity has much to learn, but we are eager to share what we know as well." The scholar nodded. "Then let the exchange begin." For ours, Alara explored the city, guided by the queen and her attendants. She learned how the aliens harnessed energy from the stars, how they cultivated food without soil, and how they communicated across vast distances using thought and light. Every discovery left her more amazed than the last, yet it was not all wonder. Some lessons were challenging. She struggled with alien tools that seemed to respond to intent rather than touch, and she had to learn quickly to control her own thoughts to interact with the living structures. Each time she succeeded, the queen's glow brightened, as if acknowledging her progress. At one point, the queen led her to a quiet garden. Bioluminescent flowers swayed gently despite the lack of wind, and small streams of glowing water wound through smooth stones. It was peaceful, almost too peaceful. "Why show me this?" Alara asked. "Balance, human," the queen replied. "Even in a world of incredible knowledge and power, peace must be maintained. Chaos exists everywhere, even in beauty. Your species has known war, hardship, and survival. Yet you also know cooperation, creativity, and compassion. That is why I chose you." Alara considered this. Humans were flawed, yes, but they were persistent. They adapted and overcame, and often in ways that no other species could. Maybe that was what the queen had seen in her, the potential for greatness. Even amid imperfection. As the suns began to set, casting long shadows and painting the sky in colors she had no names for, the queen stopped near a small platform overlooking the city. "You have seen only a fraction of our world," she said. "But the invitation is more than a tour. It is a test. Will you and your species rise to meet the possibilities that await?" Alara looked down at the glowing city. She felt a mixture of fear, excitement, and determination. "We will," she said quietly, though with conviction. I don't know what challenges lie ahead, but humanity will rise to them. We always do." The Queen smiled an expression that somehow seemed both alien and warm. "Good. That is why you are here. That is why you are invited. Remember, human, you are not just a visitor. You are a messenger, a bridge between your people and the greater galaxy. What you learn here will shape the future." For the first time, Alara understood the true weight of the invitation. She had thought this mission was about exploration, about curiosity. But it was far more. It was about the future of her species. And it was a responsibility she was ready to bear. As night fell on the alien city, the glow of the structures illuminated the sky like constellations on the ground. Alara felt a strange sense of belonging, even among beings so different from herself. Perhaps this was what the Queen had intended to test, not just skill or courage, but the human ability to adapt, understand, and connect. The Queen turned to her one last time before the evening concluded. "Rest now, human. Tomorrow, your lessons begin in earnest. You will meet others, face challenges, and learn what it means to be part of something greater than yourself. Are you ready?" Alara took a deep breath, looking out at the vast, radiant city below. "Yes," she said firmly. "I'm ready." The Queen nodded, her glow dimming softly as she prepared to leave. "Good. Sleep well. The galaxy is watching, and tomorrow, so will you?" Alara settled into a small resting chamber provided by the Queen's attendants. Though it was simple compared to the grandeur of the city, it was comfortable, filled with warmth and light. She sat by the window, staring out at the glowing structures, reflecting on the day's events. Her mind was racing. She had met an alien queen, been invited into a world far beyond human understanding, and realized that humanity might soon play a role in the galaxy. It was overwhelming, yet exhilarating. For the first time in her life, Alara felt the full weight of possibility. Humanity was no longer confined to their small corner of the stars. They had a chance to be part of something bigger, something extraordinary. And she, just one human, was the bridge. As she drifted into sleep, the city outside glowing softly under the twin moons, Alara knew one thing with certainty: her journey had only just begun, and the galaxy would never be the same again. The next morning, Alara awoke to a soft, warm light filtering through the translucent walls of her chamber. The city outside was alive with movement. Beings of all shapes and sizes floated, glided, and walked through the streets, carrying out tasks that seemed impossible to her eyes. Yet, she noticed one thing: no one rushed. Every movement was precise, intentional, and calm. A soft glow at the edge of her chamber signaled the arrival of the Queen. "Good morning, human," she said, her voice gentle yet commanding. "Today begins the trial of minds. It is a challenge designed to test not only your skills, but the spirit of your species." Alara sat up, her pulse quickening. "Trial of minds?" she asked. "Yes," the Queen replied. "It is not a contest of strength, nor of speed. It is a test of ingenuity, cooperation, and courage. Your people have survived countless hardships, but this trial will push you to understand the limits of thought, creativity, and compassion. Are you prepared?" Alara took a deep breath and nodded. "I am ready." The Queen's glow brightened, almost as if she were pleased. "Then follow me." They moved through the city, passing structures that seemed to shift and respond to their presence. Finally, they arrived at a large courtyard surrounded by hovering platforms. Each platform displayed a different environment: forests, deserts, floating islands, and areas filled with strange, glowing energy patterns. "This," the Queen explained, "is where your trial begins. Each environment will present a challenge. You must solve them using not just your knowledge, but your instincts and imagination. You may work alone or seek help from our people, but beware, some challenges require teamwork beyond what you've experienced before." Alara swallowed. The stakes were clear. This was not simply an observation. She and humanity were being measured, and the way she approached these challenges would determine the Queen's view of her species. The first environment activated a dense forest filled with enormous, glowing plants. The trees pulsed with energy, and streams of light ran like rivers along the ground. A puzzle appeared before her eyes, A barrier of shifting light blocked her path, its patterns moving unpredictably. Alara studied the patterns carefully. The energy seemed to respond to movement and thought. She realized she had to match the rhythm of the pulses to unlock a safe path. At first, she stumbled, the energy arcs brushing past her hands. But she adjusted, remembering her training in pattern recognition and adaptability. After several tense minutes, the light shifted aside and a path opened. Alara breathed a sigh of relief. One down, she muttered as she moved forward. A group of aliens emerged. Their translucent wings shimmered as they hovered beside her. Human. One said in a resonant voice, "You show understanding and patience. We will accompany you to the next challenge. Cooperation is as important as insight." Alara nodded, grateful for the assistance. Together, they moved to the next platform, a floating island with shifting terrain. The ground itself seemed to rise and fall like waves, and strange creatures made of light darted across the surface, carrying pieces of a puzzle she had to assemble. At first, it seemed impossible. The pieces moved faster than her hands could catch, and the terrain kept shifting beneath her feet. But she paused, observing the rhythm of the creatures, the way the ground responded to her steps, and the way her companions coordinated their movements. Slowly, carefully, they worked together. Alara directed some creatures to specific locations, her human intuition guiding decisions that her alien companions could not anticipate. Piece by piece, the puzzle formed, and the island stabilized, revealing a glowing bridge to the next environment. Alara felt a surge of pride. Not only had she succeeded, but she had begun to understand the Queen's intentions. The trial was not just about solving problems, it was about blending human creativity with alien logic. The third challenge was more psychological. They entered a chamber filled with mirrors reflecting countless versions of herself. Each reflection moved independently, presenting different scenarios, one where she failed, one where she ignored others in need, one where she hesitated at critical moments. Alara felt a moment of doubt. Could she truly trust herself to make the right decisions? The reflections seemed almost alive, mocking her fears. But then she remembered humanity's greatest strength, perseverance. She focused, centering her thoughts, and made her choices deliberately, showing courage, empathy, and logic. One by one, the reflections aligned, merging into a single, glowing version of herself. A door opened, revealing the next platform, a vast desert with shifting sands and hidden obstacles. Here, the challenge was physical yet mental. She had to navigate treacherous dunes while solving a series of energy-based riddles. At first, she struggled, nearly losing her footing in the shifting sands. But her human instincts kicked in, an ability to adapt, improvise, and remain determined even in chaos. Alara found a rhythm, moving across the desert and solving the puzzles with precision. She felt the presence of the Queen watching, her glow brightening whenever Alara made a correct choice. This was more than a test. It was an acknowledgement that humans could thrive under pressure. Finally, they arrived at the last environment, a vast chamber filled with floating orbs of energy, each representing a different alien species. The task was clear. She had to organize the orbs in a way that balanced energy flows and cooperation among the species. At first, it seemed overwhelming. The orbs moved unpredictably, and their energy pulses sometimes conflicted. But Alara realized something important. She didn't need to force the orbs. She needed to observe, understand, and guide, using what she had learned from the previous challenges: adaptability, empathy, and teamwork. She began to arrange the orbs slowly, carefully. She synchronized the energy flows. The orbs glowed, brighter and steadier, and the chamber filled with harmonious light. The trial was complete. The Queen appeared beside her, her glow radiant. "Well done, human," she said. "You have shown ingenuity, courage, and the ability to work with others. You have passed the first stage of the trial of minds." Alara felt a mix of relief and pride. "Thank you," she said softly. "I couldn't have done it without your guidance and the help of your people." The Queen's eyes softened. "You have done more than succeed. You have shown that humans are capable of growth, understanding, and cooperation beyond your world. That is why you were invited. That is why you were chosen. Alara took a deep breath, letting the weight of her accomplishments sink in. She realized something important. Humanity was not just being observed, they were being tested. Not for weakness, but for potential. And in passing these trials, she had begun to prove that humans were more than just survivors, they were innovators, problem solvers, and collaborators. The Queen continued. The trial is far from over, human. There are greater challenges ahead. But today, you have shown that your species can rise to meet the unknown with courage and intelligence. Remember this, for it will guide you through the next stages. Alara nodded, her mind already turning toward what might come next. She had faced uncertainty, danger, and challenges beyond imagination, and she had prevailed. Humanity's potential was beginning to shine, and she felt honored to be the first to demonstrate it to the Queen and her people. As the day ended, Alara stood at the edge of the chamber, looking out over the city below. The glowing structures shimmered under the twin suns, and she felt a sense of connection not just to the Queen and the aliens, but to her own species. Humanity had always reached for the stars, and now, under the watchful eyes of a being far more advanced, they were stepping into a larger universe. She realized that the trial of minds was more than a test, it was an invitation to growth, understanding, and the future. And for the first time, Alara understood what the Queen had meant when she said humans had potential. They were more than survivalists, they were thinkers, creators, and dreamers capable of rising to challenges no other species could face in the same way. Alara smiled to herself. Whatever came next, she knew she was ready. Humanity was ready, and the galaxy was about to witness it. Alara had barely slept that night. Her mind raced with everything she had learned during the trial of minds. She had faced puzzles, challenges, and situations that tested every skill she had. Yet, as dawn broke over the glowing city of Zereth 9, a sense of unease crept into her thoughts. The Queen met her in the central courtyard, her radiant glow slightly dimmed. "Human," she said, her voice unusually serious, "there is a threat approaching our world. A faction of our own kind seeks to overthrow me and claim control over Zereth 9. They believe the planet's power should serve them alone, not balance." Alara's heart skipped a beat. "They what? But why now? I thought your people were peaceful." The Queen's eyes softened, though concern lingered. "Peaceful, yes, but power can corrupt. Even the wisest can be tempted. This rogue faction has been growing in secret. They see your presence as a threat to their plans. And soon, they may act." Alara felt a surge of adrenaline. Humans had faced enemies before, often against impossible odds, and yet they had survived. This was another challenge, a larger one. And perhaps, this time, she would not just be a participant, but a leader. The Queen led her to a high vantage point, overlooking the city. Below, she pointed out small ships moving toward the planet from a distant star system. "They will arrive within hours," she said. "Your trials have prepared you to think, to act, and to adapt. Now, you must lead." Alara's chest tightened. Leadership was different from solving puzzles. People's lives were at stake, and failure was not an option. She nodded firmly. "I understand. What should I do first?" The Queen gestured to a holographic map that appeared in the air. It displayed the city, surrounding terrain, and the incoming ships. "Use what you have learned," she said. "Coordinate with our people. Your ingenuity is humanity's greatest weapon. You must unite us." Alara studied the map carefully. The rogue faction's ships were powerful, but they moved in predictable patterns. She realized that with strategy, clever use of the environment, and teamwork, they could be stopped. She took a deep breath. "We'll need to divide our forces, set traps, and use our knowledge of the city to our advantage. I'll guide your people, and together we'll defend Zereth 9. The Queen nodded. "Do what you must, human. Your instincts will serve you well." Alara moved quickly, speaking with the alien leaders. They were hesitant at first. Human ideas were different from their ways, but she explained clearly, calmly, and with confidence. She showed them how to use their energy technology in combination with their natural abilities, creating barriers, traps, and decoys that could mislead the rogue faction, For ours, they prepared. Alara directed teams to strengthen energy shields, reroute power flows, and set up surveillance using floating orbs. Her mind worked like never before, analyzing patterns, predicting movements, and coordinating actions across species. She felt alive, every instinct sharp-eyed as the first ships of the rogue faction entered the atmosphere. The city was ready. Alara watched from a platform high above, her heart pounding. The alien ships moved with speed and precision, but the city's defenses reacted faster. Guided by human strategy, energy barriers rose, creating narrow corridors that forced the intruders into predictable paths. The first wave struck. Explosions of light and energy lit up the sky, but the defenses held. Alara had anticipated their moves, and each obstacle slowed them down. Her alien allies moved with coordination, striking with precision at the intruders' weak points. Yet the rogue faction was clever. They adapted quickly, attempting to bypass the traps and overwhelm the defenses. Alara realized she needed to think one step ahead. She gathered a team of alien pilots and explained her plan. They would use the city's energy currents to create a funnel, leading the enemy into a single area where they could be neutralized without harm. The pilots hesitated, unsure if this approach would work. Alara smiled slightly. Trust me, humans survive by finding solutions no one else expects. You have the power to use it with strategy, not just force, with careful precision. The plan was executed. The rogue ships entered the funnel, their movements restricted by the city's energy flows. Alara's team struck at key points, redirecting power to disable the intruders' engines. One by one, the ships were neutralized, their energy dissipating harmlessly into the city's shields. Alara felt a surge of relief. We did it, she said, though her voice carried the weight of exhaustion. But the battle was not over. The rogue faction's leader, a towering alien with dark, shifting energy, descended in a massive craft. Its approach was deliberate, confident, and menacing. The Queen's glow flared brightly. That is their leader, she said. He is powerful, cunning, and dangerous. You must face him, human. Alara's heart raced. She had faced challenges before, but this was different. This was not a puzzle or a trial, it was a test of courage, ingenuity, and leadership under real threat. She nodded firmly. I'm ready. Let's do this together. The leader's craft landed, sending a wave of energy that shook the city. Alara coordinated the defenders, guiding them to protect civilians, maintain barriers, and focus on strategy rather than panic. She realized something important. Humans thrive not just on strength, but on unity and adaptability. She reminded herself constantly that fear was temporary, but ingenuity and collaboration could change the outcome. The final confrontation began. Alara noticed a pattern in the leader's movements, a rhythm in his attacks that mirrored energy flows in the city. She devised a plan to use those patterns against him, redirecting energy currents. She created a moving trap that would weaken his ship without harming him. The battle was tense. Sparks of energy flashed through the air. Ships maneuvered with incredible speed, and the city itself seemed to respond to the chaos. But Alara remained focused. Her mind worked like a machine, calculating, predicting, and coordinating. She was no longer just a visitor, she was a strategist, a leader, a bridge between species. Finally, the trap worked. The leader's craft was immobilized, its energy redirected safely into the city's core. He emerged, disarmed but unharmed. Alara approached, standing tall despite exhaustion. You underestimated the humans, she said calmly. We are not just survivors. We adapt, we learn, and we work together. That is our strength. The leader paused, studying her. Slowly, he bowed in respect. You have proven your point, human. Perhaps your species deserves more than observation. The Queen appeared beside Alara, her glow radiant once more. Well done, she said, her voice filled with pride. You have not only protected my world, but demonstrated the very qualities I hope to see in humans. Courage, ingenuity, and cooperation. Alara felt a mix of relief and pride. The city had been saved, lives protected, and humanity's potential had been recognized. But more than that, she realized something essential. humans were capable of rising to any challenge, even when faced with beings far stronger, faster, or more advanced. As the sun set over Zereth 9, casting long shadows across the city, Alara stood with the Queen and the leaders of the alien civilization. She knew that the battle had been won not just through force, but through understanding, strategy, and collaboration. The Queen turned to her glow soft and warm. Human, you have shown that your species is ready for the greater challenges of the galaxy. You are not just a visitor. You are a symbol of potential, a bridge between your world and ours. Remember this, for the trials ahead will be even greater. Alara nodded, her heart filled with determination. I understand, and I will not fail. Humanity will rise to meet the challenges, no matter what comes next. The Queen smiled. Good, rest now. Tomorrow brings new lessons, new opportunities, and new responsibilities. You have done well, human, but your journey is far from over. Alara gazed at the city below, glowing softly under the twin moons. For the first time, she felt truly connected to her species, to this world, and to the greater universe. Humanity had survived challenges before, but now they had a chance to thrive, to learn, and to grow beyond anything they had imagined. And with that realization, Alara understood something essential: courage, ingenuity, and unity were humanity's greatest weapons, and they would guide her and her people through the unknown future that awaited among the stars. The battle was over, but the story was just beginning. The morning sun cast a soft glow across the floating spires of Zereth 9, bathing the city in colors that seemed almost impossible to describe. Alara stood at the edge of a high platform, overlooking the city she had helped protect. The air was calm, almost reverent, and for the first time in days, she felt a sense of peace. The battle from the previous day had left its mark, but the city was resilient. Alien engineers, scholars, and workers moved efficiently to repair minor damage. Guided by the lessons Alara had shared, she watched the flowing streams of light, the hovering platforms, and the gardens of glowing plants, marveling at how life here was balanced with such precision. Humanity had never seen anything like it, and yet, in her mind, she realized they were not so different. The alien queen appeared, her radiant glow stronger than ever. Human, she said softly, today is the day you and your species will be recognized. Alara's heart quickened. Recognition? She had faced trials, overcome challenges, and helped save this world. But now it seemed the moment had come to cement humanity's place in the galaxy. The Queen led her to the central plaza, where aliens of all shapes and sizes had gathered. The plaza was massive, filled with energy bridges that connected towering structures and platforms suspended in midair. The citizens moved with a rhythm of harmony, their eyes fixed on the stage where the Queen would make her announcement. You have shown courage, ingenuity, and unity, the Queen began, her voice carrying clearly to every being present. You, human, have demonstrated what your species is capable of. You have faced challenges, solved problems that others could not, and acted with wisdom and empathy. Today, humanity is invited to join the Council of Advanced Civilizations. A ripple of astonishment passed through the crowd. Alara felt a thrill run through her. Humanity, her people, were being welcomed into a galactic community. She could almost see the pride in her ancestors' faces. Imagine them looking up at the stars and knowing that one day, their descendants would take such a bold step. The Queen continued, this invitation is not just for you, human. It is for all of humanity. Your species will have access to knowledge, technology, and collaboration beyond imagination. You will have the chance to learn, to grow, and to contribute to the galaxy in ways your world has never known. Alara's mind raced with possibilities. Humans had always dreamed of reaching the stars, of exploring, discovering, and building. Now, the dream was no longer distant, it was real. The potential to shape the future, not just survive it, was in her hands. A delegation of aliens approached her. They were scholars, engineers, and leaders of Zereth 9, each bowing respectfully. Human, one said, your species has proven itself worthy. You have demonstrated qualities that inspire trust and cooperation. We welcome you as equals. Alara bowed in return, feeling a deep sense of gratitude and responsibility. "Thank you," she said. "Humanity has always reached for the stars. Now, with your guidance and friendship, we can do even more. We will learn, share, and contribute to the galaxy together." The Queen nodded. "Your journey is just beginning. Knowledge is vast, and challenges will continue. But you have proven that humans can rise to meet the unknown with courage, ingenuity, and collaboration." Alara felt a mix of pride and humility. She had faced the trial of minds, helped defend the city, and now witnessed humanity's first step into a larger universe. But she also knew the responsibility that came with recognition. Humanity must not only survive, it must grow, learn, and use its potential wisely. As the ceremony continued, Alara took a moment to reflect on the journey that had brought her here. From the moment she had set foot on Zereth 9, she had encountered wonder, challenge, and danger. She had faced trials that tested her intellect, courage, and character. And she had learned something vital. Humans were not just survivors, they were innovators, collaborators, and dreamers capable of shaping their destiny. The Queen gestured toward a large, floating orb in the center of the plaza. It pulsed with soft light, displaying galaxies, star systems, and energy flows. "This is the Council's gateway," she said. "It connects civilizations, knowledge, and opportunity. Humanity is now part of this network. Use it wisely, human." Alara stepped closer, reaching out to touch the orb. A surge of information flowed into her mind: star maps, technological designs, histories of civilizations, and insights into the forces that shape the galaxy. It was overwhelming, yet exhilarating. She realized that this knowledge was a gift, and with it came the chance to guide humanity into a new era of exploration and understanding. Turning to the Queen, she asked, "Will humans be ready for this?" "We have much to learn." The Queen's glow softened, almost tenderly. "All species have challenges, human, but your people have shown adaptability, resilience, and a desire to grow. That is why I invited you. That is why you were chosen. Humanity has the potential to be more than observers. You can be creators, innovators, and contributors to the galaxy." Alara felt a sense of determination settle within her. She thought of Earth, of humanity's struggles, triumphs, and dreams. She thought of the people who had reached for the stars, of the explorers, scientists, and dreamers who had dared to imagine more. Now, their efforts had borne fruit. Humanity had a chance to become part of something greater than themselves. She glanced at the citizens of Zereth 9, watching their expressions of curiosity and acceptance. This was more than recognition, it was a bridge between worlds. Humans and aliens, working together, learning from each other, and shaping the future. As the day progressed, Alara was invited to speak. She stood before the gathered beings, her voice steady and confident. "We humans have always looked to the stars with hope and curiosity," she began. "Today, that hope becomes reality. We are honored to join your world, to learn from you, and to share what we have learned as well. Together, we can explore, grow, and create a future that benefits all." The crowd responded with warmth, their expressions a mixture of awe and respect. Alara felt a surge of pride, not just for herself, but for humanity. They had always reached for the impossible, and now, for the first time, their potential was recognized on a galactic scale. The Queen placed a hand gently on Alara's shoulder. "Well said, human. Today, a new chapter begins. One where humans are no longer limited to their world, but part of a larger story. One where your species can grow, learn, and contribute in ways never before imagined." Alara looked up at the twin suns of Zereth 9, their lights sparkling across the city. She felt hope, determination, and excitement. Humanity had a new role, a new purpose, and a new opportunity. They were not just observers of the universe, they were participants, creators, and explorers. As the ceremony ended, the Queen presented Alara with a small, glowing device. "This is a guide," she explained. "It will help humans navigate the Council, access knowledge, and communicate across the galaxy. Keep it safe and use it wisely." Alara accepted it with reverence. "I will," she promised, and I will ensure that humanity lives up to the trust you have given us. That evening, as the city glowed under the twin moons, Alara walked through the floating gardens, reflecting on the journey that had brought her here. She had faced trials, danger, and uncertainty, but through courage, ingenuity, and collaboration, she had helped secure humanity's place among the stars. She thought of Earth, of humanity's struggles, and of the countless people who had dreamed of reaching beyond their world. Now, those dreams were no longer distant. Humanity had a chance to shape the future, to explore, learn, and grow alongside civilizations far older and wiser than themselves. Alara smiled. She had always believed in humanity's potential, but now that belief was confirmed. Humans were more than survivors, they were innovators, leaders, and dreamers. They had the power to change their destiny, and the galaxy would watch as they did. The Queen appeared beside her one last time that night, her glow soft and reassuring. Rest now, human. Tomorrow, your people will take their first steps in this new era. You have done well. You have shown that humans are ready, and the galaxy will never be the same again. Alara looked out at the city, its lights shimmering like stars brought to the ground. Thank you, she said softly. For everything, the Queen smiled. No, human. Thank you. You have reminded us all that courage, creativity, and the desire to grow are the true strengths of any species. Your people have just begun their journey. The stars await. Alara turned her gaze to the horizon, imagining the possibilities. She saw Earth, distant but familiar, and knew that humanity's story was changing forever. From survival to discovery, from curiosity to contribution, the future was bright, and it was theirs. For the first time, Alara felt the full weight and wonder of her role. Humanity had been recognized, not as a minor species, but as equals in a galaxy filled with knowledge, opportunity, and potential. And she, a single human among billions, had helped make that possible. The city glowed softly under the twin moons, a beacon of harmony and hope. And as Alara looked up at the stars, she knew one thing with certainty: humanity was ready. Ready to explore, to learn, to create, and to shine among the stars. A new era had begun, and the galaxy would never forget the humans who had taken their first step into it.